Hello and welcome to yet another episode of A Day in Film. We are currently 3 days strong going in, and we finally came to our first foreign film of the week. Before we get into it, I am joined so gratefully by my co-host Meash. Say hello, Meash.
Hi.
Yeah, and I'm the Patinator as always. And boy, do we have a good one for you guys today.
Or bad one.
Today, okay. Today we watched Bong Joon-ho's 2019 Best Picture Oscar winner, Parasite. So,
Right.
just for some context, and sorry, before we get into this, I have to ask you all to please like and subscribe. It really does mean the world to me, and I'm so happy to see a reception on all these videos. I'm so happy to see that you're watching them.
And 90
Spread-
subs.
Yeah, and 90 subs, absolutely huge. I mean, I knew I'd reach it one day, but I just didn't know I'd reach it today. I'm surprised you guys are watching the underwater one, especially. I don't think most of you, or most of the people who watched it have seen it, but I'm glad you're watching it anyway. Yeah, with that all out of the way, let's get into Parasite. So just for some context between the two of us, this is not either of our first times watching this movie.
Yeah, I watched it once before, and the first time I watched it, I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, 2-star for Letterboxd users. And on my first viewing, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I gave it a 5-star. It was actually, if I'm remembering properly, one of the first foreign films I really watched.
I think so for me too.
Just because it was an Oscar, a Best Picture winner movie, and also I hate to say it, but before I really got into like my film thing, I was a very big fan of the Joker. And I remember in 2019 watching the Oscars and being furious the Joker didn't win Best Picture. And now, having seen both of them, I can confidently say the right movie won that award. Do you want to summarize the plot for the viewers?
You can do it.
Okay, so Parasite is a is a very literal name in this movie.
How?
A poor family act as parasites off of a much richer, more prosperous family, stealing their money, their food, their alcohol, pretty much even their daughter for the main dude. They are literal and metaphorical parasites off of this family. And I mean, I kind of just gave you the whole plot. They basically take over and very subtly invade this family's life until who's essentially a worshiper of the main dude is discovered by everyone, and then things go awry from there.
Right.
But this movie is all about poverty and just how unfair the world is sometimes and how difficult things can be. So in saying all that, Mish, why do you hate poor people?
I don't hate poor people. I just don't really enjoy this movie. I think I have a solid reasoning. The first thing I want to say is I can totally understand the praise and the love for this movie. It is a great movie.
Absolutely.
Genuinely, and I can see that. But it's just not something that I enjoy. Unfortunately, I'm very sad about it.
Okay, so why don't you enjoy it? What's your reasoning? Like if you had one reason, what's your main reason you don't like this movie?
My main reason? I hate liars.
Okay, but the point is that they're all shithead liars and you watch them be shithead liars and then they get their comeuppance at the end.
Yeah, but I still hate liars, so watching a movie about liars isn't gonna appeal to me.
So you're telling me when the crazy old housekeeping lady came in and discovered them, you were like celebrating. You were on her side.
No, because I hate her too. Because she lied about the guy being underneath.
It was never
asked. She
asked.
was a parasite as well. Well, she didn't lie, but she didn't tell them. He was just like there, you know.
I guess they're both parasites, yes. So before we delve into the argument, let's point out some things that I'm sure we can both agree on.
Right.
Number one, this was a absolutely excellent introduction for a lot of people into foreign film.
Absolutely.
Especially around 2019 when this was in the Academy Awards, like pretty much not all of them, but a lot of Academy Awards was nominated for a bunch of stuff. I think it's great to have foreign film pushed out there, especially a fully Korean film like this. I think
Mhm.
there are like maybe 4 words of English, and they're all like at the end of Korean sentences.
Mhm.
I think it's whether you like it or not. I think we both have to accept that it's good that some people, especially people who like this movie, were introduced to Asian and more specifically Korean cinema through
Mhm.
this admittedly excellent film.
Agree. Absolutely.
That and the cinematography
Mhm.
from, I want to say it's Hang Kyung Pyo. I want to say
Mhm.
as the cinematographer. Stunning, and the house that they end up filming in
Mm.
is a brilliant setting for this kind of movie. I guess you call it a thriller drama.
The house, watching it this time, it reminded me of the rich lady's house in Beef. You know how there's, like, a lot of
Yes,
hallways and
yes,
yeah,
yes. I know
it
exactly
looked
what you mean.
similar to me. The wooden doors and all that.
Like very modern, rich architecture,
Exactly,
like
yes.
minimalism and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree, and it acts as a really good, what's the word, a contrast to the the poor family's residence,
Right.
because they're living in a half basement, like subterranean, like the toilet is like 3 inches
Mhm.
from the ceiling.
More
They're
than 3
living.
inches, like 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah,
Oh, 3
yeah,
inches from the ceiling, sorry.
yeah. Um, they're living in, well, poverty because they are
Uh-huh.
poor, and then seeing their first step into this huge house, and seeing just how massive just the living room is and the kitchen is, and there's a whole basement under there, and you learn eventually there's a basement in the basement.
Mhm.
I think the house is a great setting for this kind of film.
Oh, yeah, it almost feels like its own character.
Absolutely. Uh, I don't think I don't remember there being even really much of a score at all. I'm sure there was one, and I'm sure
Yeah, it
it was
blends in very well.
yeah. You barely even notice it, which is a good thing,
Mhm.
especially in a film like this. You kind of want it to blend into the background. Yeah. And the writing. What do you think about the writing?
Well, I mean, I just don't really like this movie, so obviously the writing isn't gonna be great in my mind. I think there's some great scenes.
Can you give us a couple? Just like one or
When
two great
when
scenes.
we're talking about writing, are we saying more dialogue or just overall, like, scenes?
We'll say overall, for the
Okay,
sake of like the biggest picture kind of thing.
right. That fight between the old housekeeper and the new family when they're
Mhm.
all kind of fighting in the living room. I really
Mhm.
like that. I like how the beginning is slow motion. It
Yeah.
looked really cool to me. And then the otter rubs like a peach on her face. It made me
Yeah.
giggle.
That is kind of evil and awesome. Yeah.
And then the scene after that, when they're panically cleaning the entire house because they know the family's gonna be there in like 10 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
And this one you're absolutely gonna agree with me on.
Uh huh.
The iconic scene, possibly the best scene in the whole movie, is when the new housekeeper kicks the old one down the stairs into the basement.
In a single little like motion.
Right.
Yeah. It's it's legendary stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean
Um,
yeah. Go ahead.
no, you go.
No, I mean just like just the way this movie's framed, and like the
Right.
way it's shot, the cinematography again is like unbelievable.
Mhm.
It all feels so invasive and yet so like empty, you
Mhm.
know? It's a brilliant combo of the two. And the performances that go along with it are, I think, absolutely stellar
Oh, yeah.
from pretty much everyone. Would you read us one or two names from the cast?
Yeah.
Guys, just so you know, Meash is Korean, so
No, I'm very white. I'm very white. I'm very white.
their pronunciation should be pretty good.
Let's go. Here we go.
They take Korean at school.
Not sure. I've only taken French and Spanish.
Pronounce it in French then.
You can't pronounce a Korean name in French.
Just say it how a French person would say it if they were reading it out loud.
I can't do a French accent unless I'm
Okay,
speaking French.
just read one or two and tell us who they were in the story.
Song Kang Ho is
Who's
Kim,
who is that?
Kim.
Who is that in the movie?
It's Kim.
Can you tell us like their role in the movie?
No,
Like
I cannot.
was it the rich dad or the poor dad or the son, or The guy in the basement. Who was that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It just says Kim.
I know I'm dogging on Misha a lot right now, guys, but I also could not tell you any of the character names in this movie to save my life. I think it's just an American thing, like
Right.
foreign names, especially in non-Latin languages, is just too much for my brain to handle.
The one name I do recognize is the daughter, which is Ki Jung,
How do you recognize that? What's she from?
because I think she's like my favorite character. That's her
The
character name,
Oh, okay. The
right?
the daughter from the poor family.
Yes.
Why do you like her so much? I thought she was
I
like
don't
the
know. I
most
think
annoying
she's just
character.
cool. Really?
That scene on the couch where she's like
She's
hammered,
just like crying,
or no, where she's like, "Shut up already."
and then the lightning flashes.
Yeah, I wanted to kill her.
Maybe she's drunk.
No excuse. Don't be
Okay.
annoying.
You gotta take some advice for your own.
Okay, bye.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. You can't leave in the middle of the video.
Yeah, I know. I'd say my favorite character was probably I want to say his name is Mr. Kim, the driver, the poor father. Um, I something about his character and the way he moves, and I am sort of biased. I've seen this guy in at least 2 other films, I think. I know I've seen him in Memories of a Murder, which is another Bong Joon-ho movie. Stellar work from Bong Joon-ho. Absolutely insane filmography from this guy just with those 2 films. Can you list off some other movies from him, please?
A taxi driver.
Oh yeah, I've seen A Taxi Driver. That's
Mhm.
a great anti-Korean war censorship fascist photography journalism story.
Right.
Great movie.
Just started streaming again. Go watch it.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth your time.
Snowpiercer, The
Mm-mm.
Host, Lady
Mm-mm.
Vengeance,
Mm-mm.
Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance,
Mm-mm.
Broker, Thirst.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Sorry, babe, to interrupt, but this guy on Letterboxd just liked all of my last 10 reviews.
What a great guy.
it's
Shout out
it's
to that
distracting
guy.
me.
Shout out to that guy.
Joint Security Area.
Okay, well
Secret. Yeah.
let's move past from this because I think I've only seen Memories of Murder. But his performance is excellent.
Uh-huh.
Do you have anything else you want to say about this movie? Because I'm pretty much done. I think
Really?
I think this is one of the best films of the at least the decade, and if not the century.
Sure.
I think it stands out as a marvel in technical, creative, and physical filmmaking. In an age where it's so easy to just throw up a green screen and film it all in a studio, I really appreciate Bong Joon-ho's commitment to filming at location with the actors all the time, blah blah blah. And
Now,
it's
you...
yeah,
Sorry, you can finish.
and it's just excellent Korean filmmaking. Go ahead.
You do this to me a lot where you read out a scene and, like, ask me what I thought about it. So I think I'm gonna do the same to you.
Absolutely.
Starting with the guy in the basement, how he bangs his head on the lights
Right.
and he starts bleeding. What do you think about that?
I think it acts as a really good characterization thing.
Mhm.
It shows how because this guy's been down there for like what he said, like 3 or 4 years at that
Yeah,
point.
4 years.
Yeah, like 4 years, 3 months, and 17 days or something like that. And it without at that point you already know that, but it shows you how much of a toll that makes on a human being when you watch him forehead smash buttons to talk to his owners basically, and to light up the walkway.
Mhm.
I think it's a very brilliant and morose piece of writing, and he's a very cool character, and he's responsible for like the scariest scene in the movie,
Right, I was gonna bring
or
that up next.
or at least the scariest like still image in the movie.
I also got that feeling of, like, insanity from being in the basement so long.
Uh-huh.
On that final scene where Mr. Kim, like, is walking up, he just looks
Yeah.
so disoriented because he's been down there for at least, like, a year.
Yeah, he looks very like defeated, like he's
Right.
like he lost part of himself in the basement there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
the next
great
scene
stuff.
actually is We talked about this when we were watching the movie this time. When they're done cleaning everything up and all the glass is just laying under the table, the
Right.
family walks up the stairs.
Hmm.
We both thought that you'd be able to see the glass from those stairs.
Yeah, probably.
Nothing more to
My
add on that?
my excuse is that it was dark.
I guess, sure.
I think. I
Um,
don't know. I don't remember too well.
and here's the creepiest scene is the guy from the basement. You see only his forehead and his eyes above the basement stairs, and his
Yep.
eyes are so wide.
Yep. It's it's probably the scariest thing I've ever seen from a non-horror movie. Like this movie has no horror like at all.
It's thrilling, technically.
It's
Thriller.
it's a thriller drama, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But just that single scene of this guy, his eyes are like enormous in his head,
Hmm.
slowly rising from the darkness of a staircase is just like shit, man.
Yeah. And
That's
there's like
horrifying.
little kid watching him as he's eating his birthday cake.
Yeah, eating birthday cake with his hands. It's just great stuff.
Oh yeah. Um, the scene where they finally escape while the rich family is sleeping, and they're going home, and it's all flooded. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great moment of like perspective for them.
Oh
It
yeah.
really shows like because prior to that they were living it up at the house pretending they owned it,
Hmm.
and then watching them come home to a destroyed, flooded apartment and having to sleep in a gym with hundreds of other people. It just kind of drives home how different they are and how even if they act like they're just as rich as the other family, they're still poor. I think it's
Right.
great writing.
It's very sad as well. It kind of
Yes.
bursts that imagination they had where they felt like they were really living in that expensive
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, kind of reality check.
And obviously the big fight scene towards the end.
Really awesome.
Of course. There's some gross scenes in there.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's sounding like you're liking this movie more and more as you talk about it.
See, this is what I was thinking. There's great scenes, but as a whole, I just don't really enjoy it. Like, there's some really great scenes, and I could understand that, but there's just something I don't like about it. I wish I could understand and fix it, because I want to love this movie, I just don't.
You don't like how nasty this movie is.
No, I
Not
don't think it's that.
not like gratuity or anything, but just how like horrible everyone is in this movie.
Maybe, sure, yeah.
Or at least the main like group of the family, you know.
I just hate liars.
Yeah, well, all of my favorite movies star liars. I
Um,
don't have anything else.
I do have one more question for you, and that's all from me.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think if the poor family would have told the rich family they were related, would they still have those jobs?
No,
You don't think so? Like they
no,
could have been like, my dad's a great driver.
no.
Really? Just no? Nothing else to say?
Why would you hire someone's family just because they said, "Oh, my dad does it good"?
Why would you hire someone who has no clue who they are? Just because you're a worker
Because
that's
they're
been with you for
professional.
one day.
They're a professional and they recommended another professional.
Yeah, whatever. I guess.
If someone was like, "Yo, my dad can do that," I'd be like, "No, I'll hire someone or I'll do it myself. I'm not letting your dad anywhere near my car. What are you crazy?"
Okay. Sure.
That's just me. I think that's it though from both of us, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry this one dragged on a little long. We just had a lot to say.
Hmm.
That's. Oh yeah, and our numbers.
Right.
Might as well spit them out, yeah.
Mhm.
I gave it a 10, and you gave it a what?
I gave this a 6.
Yeah. So
It's gone up
I
from
think
last time, but
I think we both know who's right and who's wrong in this situation.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's all. We both hope you have a wonderful day,
Mm-hmm.
and we will see you in
In
the theaters.
theaters.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.